Yesterday when we left to come down here, we happened to be watching a PBS show on the Keys, and this photographer was talking about his favorite place in the whole Keys is this Crane Point Hammock. Come to find that it was only 6 miles from our campground, and so we definitely were making a point to come here. There's trails. It's 63 acres. So this is the parking entrance area. It's pretty cool. And if you've ever been to Marathon, there's Tess out there. If you've ever been to Marathon in the Keys, you pass the Kmart out there on Overseas Highway, US 1. It's right across the way from the Kmart, and then it just goes deeper into the towards the bay. It's on the bay side. So it's the Kmart with the Wyland whales right out there. Overseas Highway. That way's Key West. That way's Tess. It's a cool place. We're looking forward to hiking these trails. Turns out it's kind of a breezy, slightly overcast day, so it's a good day to go hiking. Let's see what it brings us. It's pretty cool. This is the center once you come out of the museum. Before you head out on the trails, this is the area at this Crane Hammock. Mola or ocean sunfish. It's a big sucker. Fish donated by, yeah, they were donated. There's a Goliath grouper. I've actually seen them that big snorkeling off Key West once. That's kind of ominous when you come across one. Pretty docile, but ominous looking when you see it right in front of you in the water. Anyway, we're gonna head out on our trail. See what we'll see. Like in a jungle, huh? A gravel path jungle. So, this is the butterfly meadow. There's a bunch of little butterflies flying around. I don't see anything like monarchs or anything like that. Huh? I don't know if the camera's picking them up. Another little butterfly hangout spot, huh? I guess all through here. I guess that's what that big butterfly is about over there. That's probably a good bet. It's a butterfly area. I don't know if this is picking it up, but there are lots of butterflies flying around. Especially over there. Right there, like little bells type things. Huh? It's pretty lush in here, huh? Mm-hmm. This is still the butterfly area. You see them floating around. It's a pretty big area for butterflies, huh? Back on the trail. Yeah. Some dried up mangrove. That's what it looks like. Yeah, there's a sign. Red mangrove.
Step.
So we're going to the Adderley house, whatever that might be, but it's off of this path. It's in this path. This is kind of a gnarly looking path. See all the roots and the coral. Most of the keys pretty much is what the keys are, is coral. I used to do business out here many years ago. This was part of my sales territory, the keys, which was kind of nice. But they didn't really use they can't use excavators out here. They use wheels, trenching wheels, because you can't even dig. You see, this is coral. This is pretty much what the keys are. Coral. And they use these wheels, grinding type wheels or trenching wheels, big Vermeers or ditch witches, they call them. And that's the way they excavate. When they do any pipe work, and here they have the pipelines and stuff, that's what they have to use. Butterflies everywhere. Crazy walking path here. Gotta be careful. That coral can be sharp too. You just see it. You don't want to fall on that stuff. Got a bend. I'm starting to wonder if I really care about seeing this Adderley house. Something over here. Higher and drier wetlands. I'm sure it can get pretty soggy in here after a good rain. After about an hour and a half trek through the woods, through the jungle, we've come across the Adderley house. And there's the Adderleys. Might have been an easier way to get here because we passed those people before. This is the Adderley house. What is the Adderley house, Tess? It's kind of cool. It's like an old, almost like adobe looking. It's probably coral. Everything's coral down here.
Adderley House was built in 1910 and engaged in sponging.
It was built in 1910.
Yeah. As a boatman engaged in sponging. A relative of Adderley described his boat as a 20-foot single-masted sailboat with a small low cabin. Loading his boat with, if I had my glasses on, provisions for a week or two. George would depart, towing his dinghy at the sponge grounds. He would pull his dinghy along, scanning the water for sponges. In deep water, he would look through a glass bottom bucket to spot the sponges. If the water surface was disturbed by wind, he would hang a bottle of shark oil over the boat, which would drip oil on the water to calm it. And when he spotted a sponge, he would use a 3-pronged iron hook to tear it from the bay bottom.
I guess, so this is inside the Adderley house. Which they had to have some kind of screens, you would think. The mosquitoes would be crazy out here. Out the back door. So instead of going through that jungle path where the sign said turn for Adderley House, we could have gone farther and turned here for Adderley House. But it was kind of fun going through that jungle path anyway. So, I don't know if I said it before, but we're on the bay side of the island. And that's pretty running water. I mean, it's moving pretty quick. I'd like to dip my head in there right now. That's the bay. Nice spot for wave runners. It's kind of a lagoon side. Little bench to sit and contemplate down here. Almost shady, kind of shady. Another look out on the bay there. Pretty. So this is a wild bird refuge in here. And there's some birds in here. Hopefully it comes out and you can see them over there. One, you can see he's got a damaged wing. So, when we were in the museum entrance there, they said they rehabilitate birds here so they can get back into the natural life, back into wildlife. So these are some of the ones that are here in the refuge area. Not a bad place. Probably in the same area where they would normally live. As you can see, it's pretty well tucked into the hammock. I'm in the Marathon Wild Bird Center. Oh boy, a great white heron. You know, we may see some of those sometimes. I'm always saying thinking they were big egrets out in the Savannah Preserve. Yeah. I've seen those. It's called a great white heron. Huh. And we see those ibis all the time by us. With the long beaks down there, those are ibis. But for some reason or other, these are here for, that's a rosette spoonbill. You don't see too many of them. That one there. That one with the spoonbill. They call it rosette because its feathers have a rosiness to them. I'm not sure if it's getting picked up in this video. I've seen those in the wild too. American kestrel, and he's up there. He or she. This might be focused. focusing on the screen more than the bird there. I suppose they call it a wildlife refuge. Some of them may not be able to be repaired. And if you could see his wing, he's kind of got a busted wing. He's hiding behind the leaves there. And also over here, a green heron, which I've never heard of. But you can see him in there. He's got a busted wing too. So I suppose these are here just for refuge. They give them a place to survive and not be prey. I've seen those in the savannah. It's called a green heron. I've actually gotten pictures of them in the wild. Didn't realize what it was. I knew it was some kind of heron. He's pacing. It's a nice refuge for the birds though. Beats the alternative. Wow, this is a red-shouldered hawk. There's a human being. Ah, see all the poor birds with their broken wings.
Hi,
Hi.
how you doing? You
I've got them
feeding?
herded all back over there. I'm interfering with their hangout.
Are the ones we see with the broken wings, are they able to be rehabilitated?
Not generally.
No.
It's all fishing line. You know, they get tangled up, and what it does, it severs a tendon in their wing.
Ah.
And once that's happened, there's no
no
recovery ever. Although there's a vet here in town who donates his time that it just earlier this year successfully reattached the tendons,
Oh.
kind of spliced them together, and
Wow.
you know, the jury's still out if it's actually going to work. But, you know, enough for them to fly.
Mhm.
But, yeah, fishing lines is their number one enemy.
There's enough of them around. Huh?
Except for there's been a bizarre side effect of the pandemic. Probably, you know, I don't know how many generations of pelicans have learned only how to eat from the scrap from the charter boats and the dive boats.
Yeah.
And they don't know how to feed themselves.
Ah.
Oh, goodness.
And most of the pelicans we've taken in have been starving.
Wow.
They're not injured, they don't know how to hunt.
Yeah.
And there's nobody cleaning fish.
Huh.
So,
That's how they were raised, huh?
kind of a bizarre side effect.
Really? Yeah. And that's what all these pelicans are. That's why they're here.
Generations of them only know how to mooch.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so all of a sudden they're hungry. I feed one at my dock, a little female.
Look at all these pelicans in here.
She's so grateful. She's so
That's a
grateful,
shame.
but
Well, at least they're being
I
taken care of
created a
here.
monster. The other day I opened my door to go outside and she stuck her head in. She followed me up to my house and poked her head around the corner looking in my living room. I got a good picture.
So while they do rehabilitate and rescue the birds here, this here, Oliver, the osprey. Say, hi Oliver. Hey Oliver. He has been here 19 years, we were just told. 19 years. He's got a wing that's just unrepairable. So, he's just been living his life here. Beautiful birds. I just photoed some osprey in the wild just a couple of days ago up in the Savannah Preserve by us. Definitely a worthy cause to come in here and pay your way. It's not expensive, but the donation, the money goes towards the rehab of these birds. A good, great cause. And the good news, I didn't video it, but they had a release 2 days ago of 6 of these pelicans. And So they do leave, because now the fishermen are able to fish again. And if I got it right, most of them were dependent upon the fishermen because they grew up at a time when that's where the fish came from. They just, and if you've ever seen it, they have it by the marina by our house, where when the boats come in about 3 o'clock, 3 or 4 o'clock, well, all the pelicans, masses of pelicans, are where the fishermen are cleaning their fish, and they throw them these huge skeletons or bones from the fish, and they manage to live that way. Put a donation in. And this is the end of the road before you turn around, I guess. The historic Crane House. I thought it was about cranes, but that was the people's name. Mary and Francis Crane. That's the old Crane House from the back. It's been nice to live right on this water. I don't think anybody lives in there now. See people out on the mangrove. This is the end of the line here, just behind the Crane House. Oh, cool. Oh, yeah. That's a good picture. Looks like it has... Is that the Puerto Rican flag with the star? Not sure. I'm definitely going to get that photo. This is the Sunset Boardwalk. I assume you can watch a sunset from here. We won't be here for that. It's not even noon time, or maybe it's around noon. Lost track of time today. Mangroves. That's what we're walking through. These are mangroves. That's these trees. I guess the sun sets that way. That's west, so. Nice clear water down there. So after you do your heated walk through all the trails, there's a museum and AC. Museum about this area of the Keys. Calusa, India. parrots. Or yeah. Wish it was real water. I'd jump in. Osprey. I got a shot. An osprey the other day. I think I said that right. Now we're here. There's a key deer. We'll be going through the deer key tomorrow. Usually about dusk is when you see the deer though. I've gotten a bunch of shots of them in the past trips to the keys. Cool little museum here though. Definitely worth the $10 a person to go to the trails. Actually, the museum is free. You can make a donation, which is by the gift shop. There's a real live lionfish, which is actually something that they're trying to get rid of. He's following my camera. See if he follows me this way. I feel bad for you anyway, buddy. But we were watching something about how good they are to eat. They spear them. They actually spear them. They're really an invasive fish, and they don't like them here. So they're not native to this area. But everybody's got a right, I guess. They do spear them and serve them in the restaurants here, so you may try it. I heard it's pretty good eating. This is where we started our trip. This is our walk through the trails. Really is a neat place. Highly recommend it. I didn't notice the Wyland mural on our way out. There's Wyland stuff. I guess it's all around the world. This is where you start.